All right. Shalom, 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 Israel. Yahaba Shemel Shabbarakatam. I'm Soldier Kazak with Sons of Zion, Houston.
Soldier Kasadi with Sons of Zion, Houston. Shalom, Israel.
All praise to the Most High. Hey, pardon the absences the last couple of weeks, right here in Houston. We had to endure Hurricane Beryl. We had to get our feet situated, get our feet back up underneath us. I had to take care of some things. The other brothers had to take care of some things, but the work must continue, right? The work must continue. All praise to the Most High for the experience, right? I hope everybody's enduring, right? Just keep Houston in prayer as individuals continue to, recuperate financially, all right, and spiritually, right? So, without further ado, right, we want to get our King James Version Bible, right, and pen, right, and notepad. Let's take some notes, right? We have another episode of Faith by Works before you, right? Where we study a commandment. Okay. Every week we shine light on a new commandment that the Most High God has given us by way of Moses. Okay. And we study these commandments weekly because we want to serve the Most High God in deed and in truth. Okay. All right. A lot of individuals who we come across of brothers and sisters, right? In the highways and byways, we come across them and we say, hey, how do we serve the Most High God? Right? How do we love him? Right? And we show them First John 5 and verse 3. And guess what? You know, how many commandments do you know? Probably three of them. Thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet, thou shalt not commit adultery. Right? Well, this is why we have created this series before you, Faith by Works, showing the actual works where we learn different commandments every week and where we give glory unto the Most High God, all right, by our works. A lot of people say we have faith, right? But faith without works is dead. Let's get straight into it. This is the book of Colossians, chapter 3, and verse 17. And
Yeah.
whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shah, giving thanks to Yahweh, the Father by him. So everything that we do, all right, by way of speech, by way of deed, right, it's to glorify the Most High God by way of his Son. That's why we say, call halal Yahweh by Hashem, wa malak Yahweh Shah. That's giving all honor and glory, right, to who the world vaguely calls God by way of his Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ in the Paleo Hebrew, right? So this is the book of James, chapter 2, and verse 14. What doth it profit, my brethren, though a man say he hath faith and have not works? Can faith save him? Verse 17. Even so, faith, if it had not works, is dead being alone. Ye a man say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Show me thy faith without thy works, and I will show thee my faith by my works. Right? So it's more to it than just saying you have faith. Okay? Because if you have faith, right, that means that you fear him. That means that you believe in his power. That means that you believe in the mercy of the Most High God. And how you show this is in deeds and in works, right? So let's get a work. Let's get a deed, right? The commandment of today, right? The title of today's lesson is Who's the King? Okay. Who is our King, right? We've been led astray, okay? We've lost sight of that, right? We think that going to the polls, all right, is the way. Going to the polls and electing, all right, one of our oppressors is going to help us, bring forth ease. We think this is the answer to our problems. Well, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 17 and verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Hey,
Mm.
is Bernie Sanders our brother? Is Donald Trump our brother? Right? Is
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden, McCain, right? George Washington, are
Hey, real
these
quick.
our brothers? I don't think these are brothers. I really don't. Right. So this is the commandment of the week, man. The commandment of the week is understanding, right, the importance of not appointing or electing, right, the heathen as your ruler, as your king, right, and understanding that these people have formed a confederate against thee. These people have taken crafty counsel against thee, right? You know, this person that we are choosing to, make our president, hey, same bloodline of those who raped, robbed, and murdered our people, right? For years and years and years for past. People that took and stripped us of our dignity, our pride, right? Has violated us in so many ways, have left us in tears, right? Has shed our blood, has oppressed us from years, centuries, and centuries. Okay. And these are the people that we are appointing and electing, right? So the mighty man, Brother Casadia, has gathered some articles before you, right? And we're gonna bring out some precepts on what we are doing when we actually go to the polls and elect these officials, right? So with that, I yield. Go ahead, brother.
Come on. Like the brother said, these people that he named, they are not our brethren. They are our enemies. Let me get a precept real quick, right? It's the book of Job. Bear with me. Chapter 20, verse number 19, right? Actually, it's lucky. I'm gonna start at 18. It says, that which he labored for shall he restore, and shall not swallow it down. According to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein, because he hath oppressed and hath forsaken the poor, because he hath violently taken away an house which he builded not. Right? When we understand that our people are in this country because we were brought here as slaves, and we built this place up to be the superpower that it is today. We come up with all of the inventions. We built all of the structures. We did all of the back-breaking labor that has propped up America, aka Babylon, to be the glorious power of the world, so to speak, right? And what do we have to show for it? We have nothing, right? And a lot of times our people think that, well, if we just rock the vote, if we do what we need to make a political change in society, that's going to make our estate better. But the Most High already told us that no man is going to redeem us, right? No one is going to redeem us out of the curses that we're under because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. The only one that's going to do that is Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, right? There's nothing that we can do through our own power to get that low estate off of us, that stigma of being the scum of the earth off of us, right? So real quick, I'm gonna pull an article, right? Because we like to think that voting is what is going to get us where we need to be. Now, hold on real quick. Bear with me. Get my tabs together. I'm going to share my screen. Close that one. And this one. Boom. Share screen. And what we want is, boom, this one right here. Share. Boom. So this is the article on by the Acton Institute, right? It talks about literally that marriage that our people made with the Democratic Party, right? It all started.
Salakia, hey, zoom in for the people. Is there a way you could do that? I want them to see it. Yeah, you good now, King. You good. Go ahead.
So this was this article was written off the heels of the Obama presidency, which again, contrary to popular belief, Obama is not your brother. Obama is a Hamite. He's an African. His father was a Kenyan. His mother was an Edomite. Right. So back then, a lot of our people, we saw a brown face, and we thought, oh, she's got to be our savior, right? And this brown face happened to be running for the Democratic Party, right? A party that our people have been tied to since a man by the name of Lyndon Baines Johnson, right? Let's start with this second paragraph real quick. It says, President Obama owes a debt of gratitude to former President Lyndon Johnson for the War on Poverty programs he proposed in his 1964 Great Society speech. Johnson was well aware that by federalizing his proposals, he was cementing Black allegiance, right? Real quick, I want to get a precept, right? I want to get a precept. This is the book. Salakia.
And if you want me to read for you, can keep cooking. I can.
Can you pull the book of Ecclesiastes 7:7 for me real quick, Baba Kusha?
Right. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, and verse number 7. And it reads, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad, and a gift destroyeth the heart.
So I understand the time period that we're talking about. It says 1964, right? We're neck deep in the civil rights movement at this time, right? We just come off of slavery 100 years prior, so they say. And World War II just ended 20 years prior, right? And now we're dealing with something called Jim Crow, where our people are, though we're still at the bottom, at this point in time, we're told that. And it's no secret, right? It's something that we don't have to, it's an understanding that we don't have to struggle with. Our people understand that we are at the bottom. So you have President Lyndon Baines Johnson proposing a series of programs in order to make us feel comfortable in this lower state, right? Ecclesiastes 7:7 says a gift destroys the heart. We understand that the heart is the mind, right? So when he gives us these things, and he's going to tell you what it's going to do, right? Let me keep reading. It says, Johnson was well aware that by federalizing his proposals, he was cementing Black allegiance to the Democratic Party for years to come. In fact, it is reported that Johnson, in an attempt to assuage the fears of Southern governors, said that his plan was to have them niggers voting Democratic for the next 200 years. It says Johnson's plan worked masterfully. Again, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. We were pissed off going through slavery, going through Jim Crow, and ultimately civil rights, right? And you had your enemy giving you a gift to destroy your heart. And now we're neck deep into whatever the Democratic Party does. It's no secret that Democrats automatically believe that our people are going to vote for them and prop them up. Joe Biden, I don't know if people remember, Joe Biden sat right next to Charlemagne, the fraud, and said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't Black. That sound, and he got voted for. That sounds like a heart that's destroyed. I can give it right there.
King, mighty points, right? So I want people to understand what it is they're doing when they appoint these individuals as their president, as their king, as the person that is responsible for all of their doings, right? So we have to understand that voting and appointing a heathen means to submit and become one with their values, right? And what is the values of the so-called white man, right? It's money, right? It's financial gain, materialism, okay? The shiny objects of this world, right? The long-lived legacy, right? The ability to have an abundance and an unlimited source of income, right? Having your hands in multiple buckets, right? We have influencers all over the world telling us how to become rich, right? We have individuals, right, that literally become sleep deprived, okay, and is willing to do a plethora of things, wicked or righteous, right, to get this money, whether it's good or whether it's bad. Hey, got to get rich. That's what happens in this world, right? And what's the other value? It's power, reputation, right? Having a name, making sure that your name has weight to it. These are the things that the so-called white man values. And lastly, vainglory feelings, narcissism, right? Uh, 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 Self-absorbed, if you will, right? Feelings, do what you feel. What does this world tell you? This world tells you, hey, follow your heart. But when we search the scriptures, we see that the heart is desperately wicked. We see, hey, don't, invest into the riches of this world. Love not the world, right? And what does it also say? It also says, hey, the power and the glory goes unto the Most High God. So let's get a couple precepts, right? I want to start off with, right, materialism, right? The first key value of the so-called white man is money, financial gain, and materialism, right? Well, this is the book of Matthew chapter 6 and verse 19, the classic. It says, lay not up for yourselves treasure upon earth, where moth and rust doth corrupt, and where thieves break through and steal, right? So when you go and purchase a Bentley, when you go and purchase this nice BMW, when you go and purchase a Lamborghini, you park it outside, right? There's a possibility that this thing can go bad, right? Something can happen to it, right? Motherboard, right? So many dysfunctions to the car that you bought, right? And then what? Somebody could break in and steal it, right? The Most High God says not to lay up this as a treasure. Reading on, it says, but lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where neither moth nor rust doth corrupt. Because what? When we sit at the throne with Yahweh Shai, we become immortal, right? And nothing, right, rusts and withers away in this kingdom, in the kingdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, right? And that's where the Most High God wants us to cast our riches in and be heavily invested in. Not into materialism and money and all of these different things. He wants us to be heavily invested in walking with him, sitting at his throne, right? Becoming immortal, right? That's what we have to understand, right? And it says what? For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So when you consider these things your treasure, right? Financial gain, the riches of this world, guess what? That's where your heart is. And when we read the book of Isaiah, was that I want to say 8 and 20, right? We see how what? We will be thrust through along with the heathen in the end if we're caught valuing the things that he values, right? And I could be wrong, right? Brother Kasadi, if you could fact check me on that. I'm trying to, it's in the book of Isaiah. It might be the 13th chapter or the 8th chapter where it says you will be thrust through along with the heathen, right? But I'm going to move on forward to, this is the book of Luke, chapter 12, and verse 15. And he said unto them, take heed, and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. So you got to understand, right? The things that you possess, right? That's not where your life consists. Your life consists with the Most High God. So why not be invested in him instead of the material things of this world, right? Okay. And you have to beware of covetousness. That's having a strong desire for a possession of somebody else. And that is the things of this life, right? I'm going to kill, I'm going to steal, I'm going to do what I got to do, right? The words of 50 Cent, who we watch sitcom after sitcom, right? When we watch the sitcom of Power, when we watch BMF, when we watch all of these different sitcoms where they're doing anything that it takes to get money, to have that power, that respect, okay, that reputation, right? This is the book of First Timothy chapter 6, and I'm going to start at verse 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Be content with what the Most High God has given you. Hey, I got a roof over my head. I got food on the table. I got water to drink, right? I have a job, a plantation to go to make my money and provide for my family. I got safe and reliable means of transportation. I'm in between vehicles right now, but the Lord always provides a way of transportation for me. We have to be content with that. Be content with the providing of the Most High God. And that's what we don't do. We constantly, that's why it says beware of covetousness, because covetousness is likened unto a bottomless pit, bro. You just never stop. I want this, I want that, I want this. Yeah, I got this, but this not working. I want to get this, I want to get that. I want to be in a place where I have financial freedom. I don't have nothing to worry about. Well, brother, you want to be like the heathen, because only the heathen has that. Okay, we will always be in a position, right? In Deuteronomy 28:68, it says, and no man shall buy you. Nothing shall buy you. No man, nor thing, nor nothing will buy you out of the royal ass whooping of the Most High God. So why are you steady trying to seek ease in this place? Right? Isaiah 32 on down. We steady looking for ease in this place. And we have to understand that contentment is great gain. Reading on, for we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Hey, you was born seeking validation from the so-called white man, trying to get a social security number, right? Looking for a birth certificate, right? You were born with nothing into this world. You blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? And sure enough, all of these things that you're willing to be sleep deprived and rather to kill, steal, and destroy anybody, and you this crab in a bucket mentality, right? That you moving in, right? When you die, you can't take it with you. That's what we have to understand, right? Reading on, it says, and having food and raiment, let us be there with content. You got food, okay? You got nourishment for your body. Be content with that, right? You have these scriptures as your spiritual nourishment, right? Be content with that. Seek Yahweh Shai as your refuge. Understand that that is what's going to save you and redeem you, right? Reading on, but they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare, right? And into many foolish and hurtful lusts, which drawn men in destruction and perdition. For the love of money is the root of all evil. So you've heard this quote. Pretty sure you've heard it a million times. But the evil behind this is the covetousness, that bottomless pit mentality, right? You constantly want more and more and more. So if you actually pay attention to it, man, right? That whole thought process, that whole process, that desire for more, right? Notice how it never ends. It never ends. It's always something that you want. Most High God says, beware of that, right? For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So you have to understand, right? Brother Gabar was going into this, right? On a all body call this past week, right? That covetousness spirit, right? That wanting for riches and gains, hey, that you're getting from these actual politicians that you're electing and put in office, it's a never-ending thing. It's a bottomless pit, right? And you start to deprive yourself of the enlightenment of the scriptures. Find yourself not studying as much, you're not reading no more because you're constantly trying to pick up more hours at the job, right? You're trying to get this new car. So guess what? The hours that you have before you go into work, you spending on trying to get that car, right? It's a whole bunch of things, man. You find yourself being consumed with it, right? And these are the values of the so-called white man that you are electing and putting in office, right? He values money, financial gain, and materialism. He desires power and respect. So now you've come accommodated to that. And that's why the Most High God wants you to bring forth a brother of your nation who's walking, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments as your leader. Right? With that, I yield there.
Come on, King. Come on. That precept in Isaiah you was looking for about the thrust through, that was Isaiah 13 and 15.
Khan, I'll praise the Most High, the Water King.
No, you're on the bar. You're on the bar. Hey, if you could, I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna let me back off of what you're bringing up. The brother is very factual when he tells you that these people, their desires, they cannot be satisfied. They always want more and more and more and more. And we see that and we aspire to be that. But at the same time, we got to understand that we are in our captivity. Your brothers can pull Micah 2 and 10 for me real quick, Baba Kasha. Because I'm about to start clicking back on this article. Let me share the screen real quick.
Khan, you ready, King?
Khan, ready.
Khan, it's the book of Micah, chapter 2, and verse number 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
Exactly. What we have to understand is that we are in our affliction because we sinned against the Most High God. Again, I can't stress that enough. We can't look to the prosperity of the heathen and think that that's supposed to be for us. No. This affliction is supposed to be for us right now, right? We are in their kingdom. We are not going to be back in that rulership estate until what? Until our people come together and repent, until Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai cracks that sky and establishes his kingdom here on this earth, right? We have to understand and be okay and be content. Like the brother said, godliness and contentment. It's a great game, right? Right. We have to be content in the fact that we, first and foremost, we're still alive. Second, we are in our relatively right mind. Second, and lastly, we have the chief things for life. Was that food, water, raiment, and in most of our cases, a house to cover shame, right? But the white man is different. He cannot be satisfied. Let me bring back this article. I'm gonna jump down a little bit, and I'm gonna show you what LBJ really accomplished here. It says the Johnson administration successfully convinced generations of Black voters to believe a two-part narrative. First, none of the challenges in your life are related to any decisions you or your family has ever made, and all of your problems have been imposed on you historically by others. Stop. Brother could bring out Deuteronomy. No, scratch that. We could do Deuteronomy 28 and 15, but I want Daniel 9 and 11. Our brothers could bring that up, Bob Kasha.
Khan, King, you said Daniel 9:11.
Gone.
Khan, this is the book of Daniel, right? Chapter 9 and verse number 11. And it reads thus. Ye, all Israel, have transgressed thy law, even by departing, that they might not obey thy voice. Therefore the curse is poured upon us, and the oath that is written in the law of Moses, the servant of God, because we have sinned against him.
That's right. So literally what they convinced us of was a lie. They gave us a victimhood mentality. And we see that with our people is rampant. That victimhood, woe is me mentality. I did nothing to deserve this. My people did nothing to deserve this. No. Again, I can't harp on it enough. We sinned against the Most High God, and we are suffering those curses, right? The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8 and verse 5. I got it, King. It says, thou shalt also consider in thine heart that as a man chasteneth his son, so the Lord thy God chasteneth thee. We are being chastised. We are getting that proverbial whooping, if you can understand that. And we have to accept that, right? We can't look to the so-called white man and his prosperity and think that that's for us. No, not at all. That man is evil and he's living his wicked, evil kingdom right now, all because we transgressed, right? Back to the article. It says, second, you are therefore entitled to receive money and services through the government that will remedy all of your problems. So now they're trying to set themselves up. And I say now they're trying to do it. This was back in 1964. They've done it. They have set themselves up to be gods over us. And we look at them that way, right? They gave us white Jesus in slavery, and now they're giving us handouts. Think about the destruction of the mind. Again, a gift destroyed the heart, right? It says an additional subplot advances an evolving conflation of government with society, right? So they're making it the two things one. They're making their rulership over you a societal norm, so to speak, right? It says, therefore, when the point is made that other institutions in society are better at caring for the differentiated needs of the poor in the long run, progressives will always interpret that as not caring for the poor, ignoring the poor, leaving the poor to fend for themselves, and so on. An anxious warning results. If government doesn't provide for the poor, no one will. They have literally set themselves up to be gods over you. And we allowed that to be because we look to them in their prosperity, and we want that. We yearn for that. Again, like the brother brought out, we should be setting our treasures in heaven, right? We shouldn't be yearning for the things that are destined to be burnt up, right? Like, what at the end of the day, what's going to happen to these people? My brothers could, Baba Kashad, give me the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse number 5. Let's see if I get to it.
Khan, this is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and verse 5. Ye also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither
Wait, real
keepeth.
quick. He transgressed by what?
Transgresseth by wine.
His wicked doctrine, right? This two-part narrative. None of your challenges in your life are related to any of your decisions. That's a lie, according to the scriptures. This is his wine. Second, you're entitled to receive money and services through the. You ain't entitled to a damn thing but this ass whooping that the Lord is giving you right now. He transgressed by wine, right? Keep going, King.
Because he transgresseth by wine, he is proud. He is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is debt and as is of debt, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
It sounds like America to me, right? They can't have enough. The American way is to dominate through wickedness, right? They can never have enough. They can never have enough money. They can never have enough resources. They can never have enough land. They can never have enough people following and depending on them, on their American dollar, on their American practices, on their American views, right? Like the brother say, America is the biggest exporter of their ideals and paper money. At the end of the day, what else does America export? Nothing. We get everything through imports. I know you randomly looked at the bottom of something that you bought one day at the store and it said what, made in China, made in Mexico, made in wherever. America imports all of its goods, but it exports its wine because these are our proud people that we're following after, and they have us duped, right? So much so that we'll sit there and call a so-called white man the first black president, right? And that's, of course, Bill Clinton, who came up with something called, let me get the correct term for it. It was called the 1994 crime bill, right? Let's look at what that really did. We know it in our community as the 3-strike rule. Let's see what it really did, right? There's a video real quick. Bear with us.
Is it playing on your end, King?
God, it's playing. Can
I
everybody see
don't
it?
think. Nah, I don't think they. I don't think they see it.
Oh, Salakia, real quick. I gotta do it like this. Salakia. Bear with me, Israel. This is my first time sharing the screen.
God, we ain't got Karatas out, man.
Legit. But I know exactly how to fix that. Boom. All right, let's get it. I'm gonna restart it. Again, this is Bill Clinton, right? Actually, before we started, if you could pull a precept for me, because I want this to be on your mind as you listen to especially Bill Clinton talk. You can get the book of Psalm, chapter 55 and verse 21.
God, this is the book of Psalm, chapter 55, and verse number 21. And it reads, "The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords."
And these are the people that we trusting in. Let's get it real quick. Three strike law.
This is a special report. President Clinton's State of the Union address to a joint session of Congress.
Thank you very much.
Bill Clinton is leaning into sort of, we got to be tough on crime, because Bill Clinton is trying to save his presidency after losing the midterm election.
Bill Clinton feels the pressure to prove that he can be just as harsh and just as punitive as Republicans on the issue of law and order and crime.
In our toughest neighborhoods, on our meanest streets, we have seen a stunning and simultaneous breakdown of community, family, and work. This has created a vast vacuum, which has been filled by violence and drugs and gangs.
The Congressional Black Caucus approached the President of the United States and they say, look, our constituents are telling us we need to do something. We have to fix this.
There are Black people who are represented by these people who live in these neighborhoods who wanted something to happen. They wanted people who were repeat offenders to go to jail for a while. They wanted to have people stop shooting guns freely in their neighborhoods.
I encourage all my colleagues to vote for the bipartisan crime bill.
One step is you must take back the
There you
streets.
go, Sleepy Joe.
And you take back the streets by more cops, more prisons, more physical protection for the people. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot.
You hear this, man? This is Sleepy Joe Biden. The one that said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black.
You ain't black.
Sleepy Joe Biden. Hold on, let me run it back real quick. Listen to what he says.
Physical protection for the people. It doesn't matter whether or not they're the victims of society. The end result is they're about to knock my mother on the head with a lead pipe, shoot my sister, beat up my wife, take on my sons. So I don't want to ask. What made them do this?
See that? It doesn't matter. And this is Sleepy Joe again, Democrat, just like Bill Clinton, just like LBJ, Lyndon Baines Johnson. He said it doesn't matter that we are victims. But in that last article we just read, they wanted us to believe that we're that. Like the brother just brought out in the 55th Psalm. His words are smoother than butter, but what was in his heart?
They must be taken off the street.
When this bill is law, we will have 100,000 police officers on the street, a 20% increase. It will be used to build prisons to keep 100,000 violent criminals off the street. We will have the means by which we can.
You see any heathens in there?
King, we already know. Hey, the statistics of all our jails is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They'll incorporate some fake statistics of the so-called Asians, right, and the so-called white people. But it's us in there, King. Ain't nothing but us in there. So when they talking about these criminals, hey, you might as well incorporate the word black people, because that's who he talking about.
It's literally who they're talking about. Come on.
Say punishment will be more certain.
The whippings of mass distraction have always been in the play. People follow their sports teams more than they follow the things that's going to affect them every day. So a lot of times the bills are passed and politicians go back and forth, and all of a sudden you turn around and there's a crime bill that not only affects your present, but really seriously affects your future.
Clinton passed a crime bill which allowed now 14-year-olds to be tried as adults, more prisons being built.
The impact of the crime bill is devastating and felt almost immediately. For example, the 3 strikes law, this idea that if you have 3 offenses, that you're out of here, right? Like you go away. It increases your sentencing dramatically. That is embedded into the crime bill.
Violent crimes should be told. When you commit a 3rd violent crime, you will be put away and put away for good.
Nothing at all, boss. You're nothing at all.
In fact, we had seen sentencing discrepancies when it comes to drugs.
Cocaine versus crack.
Crack, cocaine.
Cocaine versus crack cocaine.
The penalty for possession of 5 grams of crack cocaine, the drug used and sold by many young blacks, is 5 years in prison. The penalty for possession of 5 grams of powdered cocaine, the drug favored by the white middle class, is probation.
And that's that right there. That right there. If you don't look at details like that, you will never see their intent. You will think that, oh, they're just doing what they got to do to fix a problem. But literally, if you look at the details, we all know the saying, the devil is in the details. You understand that this is actually a targeted attack. Let me get this real quick. Classic. It's the book of Exodus, chapter 1, and verse, I'm starting verse number 8. It says, now there arose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasured cities, Pithom and Ramses, right? They deal subtly with us in order to eliminate us, right? And I mean, I can yield this video right here, but I want y'all to hear what this man just said again, right?
Cocaine.
The penalty for possession of 5 grams of crack cocaine, the drug used and sold by many young blacks, is 5 years in prison. The penalty for possession of 5 grams of powdered cocaine, the drug favored by the white middle class, is probation.
So think about that. This 3-strike rule, which states that if you get locked up for the same crime, the 3rd time, that's a life sentence. The thing about drug use is more often than not, you develop an addiction, meaning what? You're going to do it multiple times, right? One side, as soon as they're caught with it, gets jail time. That's a strike. The other side, when they're caught with the foundation of that same drug, they get probation. That's not a strike. They literally put this in place to go against us. And these are the people that we're trusting in. And like I say, I can yield right there.
I mean, I gotta bring it out now. It's the classic Psalm 83, right? It's the book of Psalm, chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies, the white devils that you've seen on the video, make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against our people. 3-strike rules, right? Hey, setting it up to where, hey, look, they get a slap on the hand, but I'm gonna put three chances. This cat here got 3 chances, and then I'm gonna lock him away forever because you've appointed this white man as your president, and then you've taken on, right, his values of money. I'm addicted to the fast money. You know what I'm saying? I go sell this, I get that, right? The power and the respect. Hey, I want to fight over this territory where I'm going to deal these drugs and get this fast money, right? And in the process, moving too fast, guess what? You get hemmed up on possession charges. No, on distribution charges. Boom, you get out. Hey, you got that on your record. Got to go back to it. Bottomless pit. I want the next thing. I want that power, respect. I want the possessions. I want the Rolexes. I want the mink coats on my wife. I want this. I want that. And you just keep going after it. And then boom, you find yourself locked away for life. While they have generational wealth, they still dwelling. This is what our people have to understand, right? And it says what? And consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Hey, you heard him, right? What did Clinton say? Clinton was like, hey, we got to get these cats off the street. All this gang violence and whatnot. We've adapted to his spirit.
Bruh. Clinton was the one who brought the daggum drugs in the country in the first place.
Right. Bro, I'm going to read on, right? I'm going to finish this verse out, right? That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. Nah, man, I'm trying to be the next what they call it, Frank man, I want to be the next Frank Sinatra, right? I'm trying to be the next what's his name, man? Damn. Last name White. I'm Frank White. I'm trying to be the next
Freeway Ricky Ross.
Bro, it's madness, bro. It's madness. Like there wasn't no life I lived, so I pardon me, I forgot the damn names. Right? I was into some other wickedness in the world, but hey, it's madness. Our people have to understand that this is not the way, man. We're appointing these people, we adapting their spirits, and then we get caught up in their little plans, man. We get caught up in their political agenda. We're assuming defeat when we put these people in office. That's the whole gist. We have to understand who our king is, and that's Yahweh Shai, and be like him, right? Let me get an account. This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, and I'm going to start at verse 17, right? This is the covenant promised unto Solomon, okay? The covenant, right? The dealings of the Most High God and Solomon, right? And it reads, And as for thee, if thou wilt walk before me, as David thy father walked, and do according to all that I have commanded thee, and shalt observe my statutes and my judgments, then will I establish the throne of thy kingdom, according as I have covenanted with David thy father. Right? You got to understand, right? This is the Most High God dealing with Solomon, right? And telling him, hey, look, you want a great name, right? You want the kingdom, right? Well, you got to do like your father David. You have to walk in my statutes and judgments, right? You have to keep my commandments. And our people don't do that. Instead, we take on the spirit. We gather the values of the so-called white man. We put him in office, and we want the things that he wants instead of wanting what the Most High God is destined us to want, right? And it says what? Covenant with David thy father, saying, there shall not fail thee a man to be ruler in Israel. But if ye turn away and forsake my statutes and my commandments, which I have set before you, and shall go and serve other gods, money, power, respect, right? Materialism, right? It says what? And worship them, put them first, prioritize them, put them first, and do whatever it takes to get them, right? What's going to happen? It says what? Then will I pluck them up by the roots out of my land, which I have given them. And this house, which I have sanctified for my name, will I cast out of my sight, and will make it to be a proverb and a byword, a criminal, a black, Hispanic, a Native American, right? These savages, we want them locked away. That's what this so-called white man is saying in the video the brother just posted, right? This is what the Most High God is going to make us of, right? This is what their plan is in Psalm 83, right? It's to make them in no more remembrance. Now we're going to make them a proverb and a byword, right? Among all nations. And it says what? And this house, which is high, shall be an astonishment to everyone that passeth by it, so that he shall say, why hath the Lord done this unto his land and unto his house? And it shall be answered, because they forsook the Lord God of their fathers, which brought them forth out of the land of Egypt, and laid hold on other gods, and worshiped them, and served them. Therefore hath he brought all his evil upon them. The Most High God has brought all of this evil upon us. He's made us a proverb, a byword, right? He made us walk in chains, right? And what we call a chain gang, right? We have adapted to this mindset of, look, I'm going to get rich or die trying. And because of that, this is why the Lord has made us an astonishment. Why we're in change, why we are a statistic, why we, right, are allowing our oppressors to become successful in his political agenda. What we have to understand is we have to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, right? We have to tune in on faith by works and learn a commandment each week, right? So that we can become more and more rich in the Most High God, invested in his kingdom instead of being invested into this world's agenda. We adapt to their values, their morals, their standards. We move like them and adapt their spirit every time we appoint them as our ruler. Stop encouraging people to vote, right? I got vexed I got very vexed the other week. We trying to bring out the scriptures, and then a sister walking with her little tablet, right? Starting to fishing for the people that's walking by, talking about, hey, you know, have you voted yet? Have you went to the polls? Stop. We don't have a voice. We've never had a voice. All of that marching through the streets is pointless. Pick up your Bible and start applying the things of this book.
That's right.
It's madness, bro. Right? Let me get another precept, right? And then I'm gonna pass it to the brother, man. Because what he's doing is, right, when he's taking his microphone, he's self-absorbing, right? He's making himself high. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm the hero, right? Believe in me. You go to the polls and you elect me as your president. I'm gonna do this, right? It's narcissism. It's self-absorbed bullcrap that he's feeding our people. Lies, right? And what does the Most High God say about feelings, right? when we adapt and we look at him with this twinkle in our eye and we crying, watching, turning on channel 26, channel 2, right? And we watching this and we like, he's gonna redeem us, he's gonna save us. What does the Most High God say about feelings, right? This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 9, the classic. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? That's plain, bro. Plain upon tables. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 26 and verse 41. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak. Most High God says, watch and pray, man. Watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. What is temptation, right? When you adapt into, you fall into temptation, it's because you've prioritized feelings, emotions. And that's what these presidents, right? That's what the agenda is of the so-called white man. He wants you to be self-absorbed and to fall into your feelings. Do what you feel. Don't prioritize the Most High God. Prioritize that heart that's desperately wicked, right? And when you do that, you're going to fall into my little net. You're going to get tangled up, and I'm going to handle that.
Come on.
You gotta understand, hey, look, you know, who is the most emotional person that is in this society? It's us, the so-called black man. And he becomes a statistic because guess what? Hey man, I got a problem. My respect. I need my respect. I'm gonna die behind my respect. Kevin Gates say it all the time. I'm a fool and a half about my respect. I'm gonna pass you by. I'm gonna say, cool. Hey, brother. Hey, how you doing? Excuse me, brother. But when it comes to my respect, I need that. Saying all this foolishness, right? Rapping and talking with his hands, doing all this here. Bro, it's stupid, bro. Feelings, emotions, bro.
Why is the so-called black man like that? Why is he like that? Right? Because Deuteronomy 28:54.
God, gotta get that. It's the book of Deuteronomy, right? Chapter 28 and verse number 54.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
Okay. What was a major catalyst in a black man leaving his children, right? Again, the heathen king that was placed over us, a man by the name of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, right? Also a Democrat. Again, this ain't no bash against the Democrats because the Republicans are wicked too. I'm gonna show you a quick little video to show you that two wings are the same damn bird, right? Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave us what we know today as the welfare system, right? The welfare system came from Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Let me share my screen real quick. I'm gonna pull up this article that I just looked up because it was on my spirit. These are things that a lot of us know, but we don't sit down and think about it, right? The welfare system, right? It says it was the 1935 Social Security Act, introduced by Franklin Roosevelt administration, that first committed the U.S. to the safety net philosophy. From the beginning, the philosophy had two tiers that intended to protect families from loss of income. On one level were the contributory social insurance programs that provided income support to the surviving dependents of workers in the event of their death or incapacitation, and Social Security for retired older Americans. Sounds good so far, right? Second tier was made up of means-tested public assistance programs that included what was originally called Aid to Dependent Children program and was subsequently renamed to Aid to Families with Dependent Children in 1962 public welfare amendments to the SSA, Social Security Act, under the Kennedy administration, right? The optimistic vision of the architects of the ADC program was that it would die a natural death with the rising quality of life in the country as a whole, resulting in more families becoming eligible for the work-related social insurance program. That's the lie they wanted people to believe. We're going to do this, and this thing is going to be so great. in fact, that it's going to fizzle out on its own, because on its own it's naturally not going to be necessary anymore. That's what they sold to people, right? Let's keep reading. It says, but this scenario was problematic for Black Americans because of pervasive racial discrimination in employment in the decades of 1930s and 1940s. During these decades, Blacks typically worked in menial jobs not tied to the formal workforce. They were paid in cash and off the books, making them ineligible for social insurance programs that called for contributions through payroll taxes from both employers and employees. Nor did Blacks fare much better under ADC during these years, right? Why is that? If we look at the family structure of our people back in those days, we had the highest marriage rates, right? We had the nuclear families in our communities were intact and they were strong, right? That's how you saw things like a Black Wall Street come up, right? That's how you saw all of the major things that came out of our arts and out of our culture and out of our inventions during that time period, right? We weren't always just this people that's looked at as a bunch of animals, truth be told. We had a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say pride, but we had a lot of intention behind making sure that we weren't degenerates in society, right? I'm gonna jump down real quick because I want y'all to see something, right?
Zoom in for the people.
Check this out. Developments in the 1950s and 60s further disadvantaged Black families. This happened when states stepped up efforts to reduce ADC enrollment and costs. So this thing that they pushed out, saying that it was so good, well, once our people started needing it and started using it, right, they wanted to kind of shut it down. It says, as I examined in my book, residency requirements were proposed so as to bar Blacks migrating from the South to qualify for the program. So like I said, so when we started getting into these programs more and more, what did they do, right? It says New York City's man in the house rule required welfare workers to make unannounced visits to determine if fathers were living in the home. If evidence of a male presence was found, cases were closed and welfare checks discontinued. Think about that. Think about that. This was a program that was supposed to fizzle out naturally, because once people start getting back on their feet, they won't have need for it. But for us, they used it to further push us into that same poverty that they were combating for their own people, right? These things came off of the heels of the Great Depression. They were only looking out for themselves. And then they used this same thing as a tool to destroy us, right? They took the fathers, Salaki, I don't mean Black, they took the fathers of our people out of the home, right? All that's going to do is halve the income, essentially, keeping us in that low estate financially, right? And now we're facing that curse of Deuteronomy 28 and 54. You can't make this up. These are the people you are voting for to have over you. They don't care about you. They don't like you. And again, like I said, it ain't just the Democrats. I know it sounds like we doing a long promotion to vote Republican, but it's not, right? They both sides do the same thing. Let me share this. It's a real short one, and it's probably the last article I share. It's not even an article, it's a little video. The last video I share, just to prove that point, that it's not just Democrats, it's the Republicans too. It's all of these heathens. Check this out. Full screen it real quick.
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community,
like the brother just said, you look at him, you look at it like a superhero. You got that twinkle in your eye just staring at him like, oh.
She could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Tonight, I'm asking for the vote of every single African American citizen in this country who wants to see a better future.
This is coming out of a mouth that our people en masse feel in our hearts that he does not like us.
Boy, say, stand down, stand down. He told him,
bro, we already feel it in our hearts that this man does not like us, and he's hyping up all these other Edomites to drum back up those feelings that they've been having in this country since its inception about us. His words were smoother than butter. The war was in his heart.
Look how much African American communities have suffered under Democratic control. To those I say the following: what do you have to lose by trying something new like Trump? What do you have to lose? I say it again. What do you have to lose? Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose? America must
all the heathens behind him just happy.
Reject the bigotry of Hillary Clinton, who sees communities of color only as votes, not as human beings worthy of a better future.
And this is, at the end of the day, how they all look at us. All of these politicians, all of these heathens. And this ain't to bash against you, Israel. I'll be honest. I'll go ahead and confess something to the internet, right? I remember in 2016 when he was running, I remember watching that on TV and thinking to myself, damn, you're right. And I voted for that man. I know better now, but at the end of the day, what does it benefit us knowing that Deuteronomy 28 and 68? The brothers can bring that out. Baba Kashar.
Khan, this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse number 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with
we know that Egypt is slavery, right? That Revelation was at 11 and 8. So that great city, which is spiritually called Sodom in Egypt. We know that place is America. Again, America is a major exporter of quote unquote culture, right? They export their views. All that LGBTQ nonsense that's running rampant all over the world was pushed by this place spiritually called Sodom. This place is also spiritually called Egypt because it had our people enslaved here to build it up. Right?
I think Salaki King, wasn't it during Obama's administration where they legalized gay marriage?
Exactly right. Again, he is not our people. I got an article on that right now that shows statistics that prove that we were worse off during the Obama administration. Across the board.
It's not our fight, Israel. Politics, that's not our fight. It has nothing to do with us.
Again, this Egypt, right? The pyramid on the back of your dollar bill. This is America, right? Keep going on that, King.
Come, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for
Unto your
bond,
friends,
unto your enemies,
unto people that will be good leaders of your country,
unto your enemies,
unto people you should vote for,
unto your enemies,
unto people that's going to put in place policies that are going to bring you out of that lower state and make you equal to them.
unto your enemies. For
Think about
bondmen.
that.
Come on.
Think about that. Think about that. These people are our enemies. They have always been our enemies. And not just the so-called white man, but all the rest of them heathen nations. That's the brother brought out in Psalms 83. So what sense does it make for us to participate in putting them over us? And with that, I yield.
Okay. Mighty points. I don't have any other precepts, man. Right? The brother brought it out mighty through the spirit. Hey, we've presented videos, right? And articles, right? And scriptures explaining to you that politics has nothing to do with us, man. Like I just said before, it's not our fight. It's not our position. It's not our responsibility to involve ourselves in the pissing match of the so-called white man, right? Hey, this place is going to be destroyed along with the people that love it here, along with the people that love and take on the values of these people who have power over this nation, right? We have to understand, right, that when we put this eagle on our chest and we post our pictures with this picture, I voted, go vote, go to the polls, right? We have been bamboozled. Okay, we are deeply confused. We need to open up this book. This book is our news. Okay, it is our instruction on how we should move, talk, and think. Like I said, it is our news on what's going to happen in the future. And it's telling us on how to deal with the things we're dealing with right now. This is your heritage. And your king is Yahweh Shah. It's not Joe Biden. It's not Donald Trump. Okay. It's none of these politicians. It's not Hillary. Hey, it's not Kamala Harris.
Carmela. It's not. Come on.
It's not, man. Our king is Yahweh Shah. And we need to walk like him, think like him, and move like him, man. Right? Did you have anything else, brother?
Yeah, I'm gonna end it with this, just so people don't get confused, right? I know the law says that we should only set the people of our kindred over us, right? Well, Kamala Harris, however you pronounce her name, Kamala, whatever, she may be a so-called Israelite. But one, the kingdom of heaven is meant to be a patriarchy, not a matriarchy. And two, even if she becomes the president, understand that the president is the American government is not a monarchy. The president isn't the only person that's the king. You got the Senate and you got Congress. So at the end of the day, Kamala Harris can get that title, but understand your king is still a heathen.
Yeah. Electoral vote.
Your king is still a heathen. There's no way around it. Like the brother say, these scriptures, that's your lifeline. That's your heritage. That's what we need to be coming back to. Serving the Most High God, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai. That's who's going to save us out of this affliction, out of this captivity, out of this wicked world that's getting ready to burn up. Now you.
King, I'm gonna bring out these last two precepts, right? And then we'll go ahead and wrap it up, right? So the actual commandment, right? It says Deuteronomy 17:15, thou shalt in any wise set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy brother. Well, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. So you have to understand, out of Christ's mouth, he identifies a brother, a sister, a mother, and a father is them who keeps the commandments of the Most High God and does the will of the Father. And if we are appointing Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump, Joe Biden, they're the heathen. Kamala Harris is dwelled amongst them and is pushing forth the agenda of them. Therefore, this is not our sister.
That's right.
You have to understand that whoever does the will of the Father, this is who you're supposed to choose. You understand? Right? And I'm going to yield there. Hey, I hope this video was edifying, and it will be edifying, all right, of those who didn't see it. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, our brothers and sisters will be edified in the coming days, right? We love you. Hey, with that, shalom.
Shalom. Kwame Asherallah.